following program is sponsored by PokerStars.com. Previously on the big game, Hollywood home game hero Rick Salomon sent loose cannon Courtney G back to Canada on an early flight.
I'm on.
All of it.
I call.
Here it comes.
Thanks.
Sorry. You played really good, though.
Poker pro Brian Rast was excited to join the game.
Rasty's in there.
The price of poker went up.
We're straddling for the rest of the show. So how much you want to bet before the show's over?
Yeah.
One of these guys is going to go broke.
And everyone was feeling lucky.
I feel lucky.
I feel lucky. I feel lucky.
At a table full of high-stakes veterans, is it luck or skill that will matter most? Find out tonight on the big game.
Oh, yeah.
This is the PokerStars.com Big Game.
Hello and welcome to the big game from Las Vegas, Nevada. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Scott Huff. Tonight there's almost $1 million in cash on the table as some of the top players in the world have come to battle it out here in our state-of-the-art poker room.
High-stakes cash game rounder Brian Rast joined the game late. He's been awake for the past 31 hours, so I'm calling him the sleepy straddle. He's down 10K.
The former world record holder for longest cash game session ever, Phil Laak, he don't need no stinking sleep. He's up 112 grand.
24-year-old Kenney has a reputation as a trash-talking bad boy, but he's actually been quite lovely and polite. He's up almost 11,000.
The fastest online player in the world, Nano Noko Randy Liu, hasn't been able to lap anyone. He's down to 85 dimes.
Rick Salomon is a Hollywood home game legend, and right now he's down less than the cost of his last lunch meeting at Nobu, stuck 2 bills.
Our remaining player is no stranger to the big game. It's the Canadian poker pro, Daniel Negreanu. Right now, he's standing by with Amanda Leatherman.
All right, Daniel, with no loose cannon and 5 crazy aggressive players at the table, what's going to happen?
Well, somebody's going to go broke. I'll tell you why. For one, we're going to straddle the whole show. For two, we've got Brian Rast, who's he's tired and been playing forever and never sleeps, and everyone else at this table is just crazy aggressive, and we're all going to make moves against each other. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, you said last night that somebody's going to get it in.
Someone's going to get it in, yeah.
Do you think this is big game poker at its best?
Yeah, I mean, this is the fun part, when you've got, like, really deep stacks, playing really high with guys who are not afraid to just get it in.
All right, good luck.
All right.
Here are the rules of the big game. Each table lasts exactly 150 hands. The action pre-flop is pot limit. It becomes no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 4 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. And every player begins with at least 100,000 but can rebuy for up to 500K.
The players have agreed to straddle for the rest of the night, and if you're the funniest guy in your home game like me, you call it a strudel.
Pass.
Negreanu folds and Laak is out. King 4 for Kenney. Folds. Randy Liu, Queen 9.
Randy has been impressive all week.
Raises to 3,400.
Not with his win rate, but his ability to lose almost 100K and not tighten up at all.
Action folds to Brian Rast.
How much is it?
Brian does have position on Randy.
And he calls.
Brian may think he could have the best hand, but there's less reason for over-aggression when you're in position.
Heads up to the flop. Tray 7 king. Rast is still best.
See what I'm talking about? The kid's stuck almost 100, and he's just betting.
46.
Fires 4,600.
Again, if Brian thought maybe his ace high was the best hand pre-flop, it could still be the best hand now, and we all know Randy's C-bet percentage is very high. The problem with calling a guy like Randy, though, as I've mentioned, is that he just keeps betting, and the bullets are just going to get bigger and bigger.
Rast reaching for big chips. Raises to 11,600.
Brian is most definitely bluffing. He just happens to be doing it with the best hand.
Fold.
Liu folds.
Little bullying from Rast.
Crafty Rasty.
What can I say, you know? It's like 2 hearts, 4 hearts on the board, flush draw.
They are the same person. So weird. He's not doing a Phil Laak impression.
He
This
is
just
Rast.
you.
That's why I love him so much. Yeah.
That's why we've become good friends, you know? We see the world somewhat similarly. Somewhat similarly.
I thought you were a normal guy. I didn't know you were such a freak. What a freak.
He's a gift from nature.
Wow, you know what? I'm glad that I've changed your opinion because I don't really ever want to be known as a normal guy.
I feel similarly.
Phil Laak, 4-8, holds. 7-4 for Kenney. Pitches it. Ace-3 for Randy Lou.
Suited.
25.
Raises to 2,500.
This kid just does not let up.
How old is he gonna be?
Folds to Rast. King-8 offsuit. Folds.
What is that? What did you do? 25?
25.
Jack-9 for Daniel Negreanu.
Well, your button VPIP is rather high as well.
I'm not Bryn.
I know, but you still play a lot of pots in that late little position, so I can call here profitably long term.
Yep.
Daniel makes the call.
If you were nitty, I would have folded this hand. But you're not nitty. Hardly.
Good to know.
The flop. 3 hearts, flush for Lou.
Okay, this could be trouble for both of us. I'm already feeling a lot of pain. Check.
Daniel checks.
35.
Oh, so fast. You don't think. He's so good. Online, the same thing. 75 decisions in 3 seconds. How much?
35.
Well, I can't fold.
How many
Clearly.
times do you misclick a day?
He doesn't misclick. He's
Never?
genius.
Yeah. If you think it's a misclick, I'll turn it into something good.
Really? Yeah.
Daniel calls.
Is that a misclick 35 or you got something?
Mischip.
7 of hearts on the turn.
Action killer.
Well, now this kind of kills the action. There could have been a whole craziness. Now the heart's already there, so either you got one or you don't, right? I'm gonna defer.
Negreanu checks.
9,000.
Okay, you're good. You bet like a medium heart here too. I know you. 9,000?
9,000.
Okay, you bet a lot of hands here. Good player you are. I like to bet 9. I don't have a heart, so I'll let you take it.
Thank you.
Good bluff. No, you didn't bluff. You had it.
Of course I had it.
Did something.
Of course I had 2 cards.
Lou wins a pot worth 22-2.
There you go. That's why you don't call out position, get outplayed by these whippersnappers, right?
Tough.
Lock.
They like.
Check call, check.
Even though Daniel folded, I like Nano's turn bet. Nano would probably bet a wide range in that spot, which is why Daniel thought about it. The only problem is that almost all of those hands had Daniel beat. I think if Daniel were stronger, specifically holding any heart, Randy could have made some more money.
Action continues with Bryn Kenney, ace-jack. Raises to 3,200. Lou, Jack-8 suited.
I believe Jack-8 suited is also known as the Unabomber Deluxe.
Randy Lou calls.
Lou is dominated by Kenney.
Salomon's out, over to Brian Rast. Jack-7. Lets it go. Queen-4 for Daniel, out. And lockout.
Just me and you?
Yep.
Just me and you. Not on the button.
Position burn.
10-8 king on the flop. Lou pairs his 8. Kenney checks.
Well, I think we know what Nano's going to do here.
42.
And he does. Bets 4,200.
Lou's got Kenney reverse dominated now, but Kenny's got outs to a gut shot. Might be tough for Bryn to let this go with that position taunt and everything.
But he does. He folds. That's 2 in a row for Randy Lou. Kill pot. Nano Noko attempting to claw his way back from a big hole. We're coming right back with more action from Vegas. Don't go away.
Before the players play on the big game, they're given these surveys to fill out. And I actually got a look. I actually have Rick's survey here. I want to show it to you guys real quick. This is Rick's survey. And there's one thing in particular here I wanted to ask you about. The question is, what's your greatest strength at the table? Second part, what's your greatest weakness? Rick wrote, play perfect poker. So would you say play perfect poker is your greatest strength or your greatest weakness? Because you kind of wrote that. It's for both. Okay. And then the funniest part actually is that he crossed something out So what answer was worse than play perfect poker that you crossed out?
I don't know.
To see more behind-the-scenes interviews like that one with Rick Salomon and all this game's stats, unaired hands, and material deemed too hot for TV, visit us online.
My greatest strength as a poker commentator is make corny jokes.
The action will start here on Brian Rast
I was second in chips going to that.
with 5-7 suited.
And, got it all in.
57 varieties of Rast.
Lost all three and was out.
Raises to 2,300. 5 deuce for Daniel.
Yeah, I raised the
Playing this hand would be pretty loose.
I remember I
Pretty
double suited aces.
pretty
I got all
loose.
in with him. He had single suited aces.
23, right?
He's going to. He calls.
Let's dance.
Daniel loves David Bowie and Bob Marley. Makes perfect sense.
Queen 4. Lou folds. Queen 9 for Rick Salomon. And he calls.
Standard defend hand. That's one way to play perfect poker.
Now hoping for a perfect flop. 3-way action. King, Queen 5.
Not quite perfect, but he flopped the best hand.
And checks it.
He's checking to the razor.
And Rast checks bottom pair.
Daniel's also got bottom pair. He may want to pick up the lead, but this isn't really a spot for a value bet.
And he checks it. Turn. Ace of hearts. Daniel picks up a flush draw. Salomon checks again.
Solomon's second pair just became third pair with a Broadway possibility and 2 potential flush draws, one of which Daniel has.
Everyone checks. Free card.
What the hell is going on around here?
Jack of spades, and Salomon has the winner if he doesn't fold.
Rick can't believe no one's bet it yet.
Action checks over to Daniel.
I don't see how I can win.
And he checks.
I got a queen.
Yeah, I know. I played this perfect. I played this so good. I had a pair and a flush draw and never bet. Actually, never mind. I could have bluffed you on the turn, maybe. Yeah, 5s and a heart draw.
Yeah, I think I was going to go on the way on the turn. I was like, oh, it's definitely a scare card. They know that.
Yeah, so I don't think you're gonna fold it. You were giving the eye like, is he gonna bet? Don't mess with my pot. So I had to just
I was
let you
hoping
have
that was the
You gave me the
impression.
What are you trying to do to me?
Salomon wins an $8,000 pot by checking.
Oh, I don't usually do that. That was big. Checking pairs in position and pairs and flush draws in position. I'm going to the Laak school of lockdown poker.
Just don't go to the Laak school of ATV driving.
Oh, man. Daniel with 5-4 folds. Ace queen for Laak.
If you had bet the turn, you would have won the pot.
Calls.
If Rick calls you, you would have been at the river.
Then I would have had to bet again.
I guess I got a bluff.
Kenny and Lou fold. Solomon raises to 4,000 with king queen.
He can't call you with queen 9 there. There's no way he's folding. That'd just be like ridiculous.
I'd rather just get a big bet in on the river with a flush.
8-3 for Rast. Folds it.
He can go 4K. Can a math genius tell me that's true?
Yeah, they always spot it.
How much you playing, Rick? I just want to know right now before.
I am playing, I think 145,000.
Okay, so I would still be up 58,000 should I get stacked. So I will call.
58,000?
No, I'll be down 42,000.
Well, how much are you up?
I'll be down 42,000 if he stacks.
You can handle 42.
So Laak's made the call.
It's something I've been at before.
Deuce 6 king rainbow. Salomon no longer dominated. Hits top pair.
Rick Salomon runs pretty good at life. If you don't believe me, Google him.
He bets 5,300.
Rick's led at this like he's in love with it. Laak's got no pair and only a backdoor straight draw, and Rick isn't typically super aggressive with no hand.
Rick, you win the money. I play careful.
Laak folds.
God, I hope I see a king there. I'm going to be really angry with me.
Well, Phil won't be angry when he watches this show or whatever energy light ball explosion Laak becomes when he's upset. In fact, Solomon's c-bet was a pretty strong signal to get out of the way. As you can see, Salomon has been the least likely player to c-bet, so it should be respected when he does, as opposed to Laak, who's been c-betting OG style, and by OG I mean original Greenstein. Laak is at 100%, so his c-bets have less meaning.
But his stack hasn't suffered any. He's our big winner so far.
This is a double straddle for Mr. Bryn Kenney.
So Kenny's put out 4 times the big blind and will have last action. Ace 10 for Randy Lou.
So complicated.
Randy's had problems with the pot limit pre-flop all week.
That sounds fair.
Internet players.
So he makes it 4,700 and the action folds to Daniel with pocket 10s.
Typically, Daniel calls in these spots, but 3-bet's possible since he's out of position. The thing that separates the pros from the me's in a spot like this is that even though this pot is huge, you have to play it like any other hand. You can't play scared.
Daniel re-raises to 15,000.
Made it 15.
Laak and Kenney fold.
Button VPIP, man.
I gotta see how much I have first.
All right. Good luck. Are we getting in?
I don't know.
You haven't decided?
Does that mean you're not folding then?
Well, I want to know. Do I have fold equity, or do you have fold equity? How much do you have? We'll see. I got a decent hand.
How much you make it?
15. Oh, I know you're trying to figure out if you can profitably call instead of move in or fold.
Something like that.
See, I know what's up. I've been reading and
He knows too
studying online.
much.
You're trying to figure out if you're getting the right price. I love this. This is awesome. Because I feel like I'm thinking about what you're thinking now. I never used to be like that. Am I bothering you with the...
Oh, no, I'm gonna call.
So Lou calls 10,300 more.
No, please keep talking.
All right. We might get it in.
We might.
So he's got about 50 there.
At least a reasonable chance.
Lou's decided he can call profitably.
The flop for Jack 3.
Doesn't look like that flop helped anybody.
Flop helped Daniel by not helping Randy.
More likely you, I think.
Why? Because I could have any weird Jack 3 kind of hand. It's a Faraz Jaka hand.
You're first, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking for a sec. What makes sense?
Ultimately, one overcard is not so bad for 2 10s. Phil's looking for change in the middle of the hand. Not cool, bro.
What are you doing in my pot right here?
I failed, but I tried getting it in. You know what I did? I waited until he said something, and then I shot it in.
You probably shouldn't do it now.
You know,
I'm going to need change because I'm only betting 18. 18,000.
Daniel bets 18,000.
Randy's got to decide how often Daniel would do this with a hand worse than ace-9.
I fold.
Lou folds.
Yeah, if you had a pair, you would have went with it, right? I had a pair.
Yeah, I figured you had like nines.
I was going
with
I had 10s.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll even show
I
you.
had the Jack 3.
Daniel shows him the 10s.
You had the Jack 3? Yeah. I wasn't folding. I bet the 18.
I know you're not folding.
I can't. How can I fold?
Yeah.
Right?
I figured you had something like 9s or 10s.
Yeah.
So Daniel Negreanu taking his time with the fastest poker player in the world and crushing him. Will it continue? Find out when we come back here on The Big Game.
Well, poker players get better. The game today is tougher than it's ever been, and the average player is so much better, and a lot of the reason is because they watch the big game. Back in the old days, nobody got to see your whole cards. You just had to figure this stuff out on your own. But today, there's so many training sites and software and shows like this where people can really learn how to play very quickly.
Shows like this? Daniel, are you crazy? Don't tell the people at home they're learning anything. He's just kidding, I swear.
Daniel up over 80 dimes through 130 hands, and this hand will start on the young pro he's been schooling, Randy Lou. 2 queens.
OMG, the fastest player in the net finally has a legit hand. He should raise it.
25.
He makes it 2,500. Rick Salomon folds. Rasty. Rasty rockets.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Phil, do you want some good luck?
Oh, that's dangerous. When you see my hand and then I'll try another one. That was fun.
One time?
Yeah, let's try it.
One time.
Look at both of our hands, when we're both in it. This is where I lose 20, 30K.
Amanda Leatherman is a black cat.
Right.
Someone's going to get hurt here.
Right now, it looks like at least Randy Lou.
All right.
Oh, yeah, Rast is going to save us from losing.
Okay, you know what to do with that,
Rast
right?
3 bets to 7,000.
Standard.
Daniel's out.
Okay, this is how I would sweat it in real life. I would go like this and hope for not that hand.
Hope for Brian's hand.
Lame.
That was lame. Yeah. Well, Rast ruined the fun.
Action's folded back to Randy Lou in his pocket queens.
Randy Lou has been getting raised and looked up all week long, and he's never had a hand. Randy's also stuck quite a bit, so it's possible that with his stack size, it's all going to go in.
How much more is that?
This is going to be a shame.
I pot it.
Lou repots to 23,000.
I don't know if that face is surprise, exhaustion, or just what Brian Rast looks like when he's trying to do math.
How much is it?
Our dealer Marcus can do math.
23,000.
20 what?
23.
23. How much more do you have?
Like, less than, not that much more. That help? You want
28
exact?
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That much more.
I love this. This is fun.
All right. Amanda.
Time to look, Amanda. Go.
Amanda.
I like Brian Rast, but this is a pretty gnarly slow roll.
All right, I'm gonna go all in.
Are you serious or not?
Yeah.
All right, I call.
All in and call.
Ooh.
That hurt.
He goes, "Are you serious? I never heard that before."
You played that like a pro, kid. Now you better run 2 boards because you know the first one's coming with a queen every time.
What do you want to do? I don't care. I prefer to run more boards, I guess.
What do you want to do? You pick.
Twice is fine.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll see 5 cards twice, with the winner of each hand getting half the pot.
When Helmuth allegedly soul-rolled Ernest Wiggins in Season 1, the poker gods punished him. Will Brian Rast face the same fate?
Queen?
King, king, deuce.
That was like some serious paint, but it was black, so it wasn't as scary because it's got to be red for me to be scared.
Correct. He knows because see how they're both black? That means that
He's smarter than he looks.
That's true.
Hey! I just got that right now.
I wish I could laugh and goof with $100,000.
$100,000 pot. Ha ha ha! I'm getting it in.
So funny.
There's one guy not laughing.
There's a smile. To the turn. 9 of hearts. Rast still in the clear.
So far, the running it twice looks like a good decision.
you know you can get the color wrong, but you gotta
You've
get
got
the number
6
right.
cards instead of 1 now.
Randy Lou looking for a queen. Brian Rast looking for anything but.
To the river. Full boat for Brian
That's a good
Rast.
card for you.
Yeah.
Great card for you.
How's that a good card?
Because now there's 1 less ace you can hit.
Because now the next flop won't come out just
you're gonna,
ace,
yeah, I mean,
and it's just like over.
of all the cards, queen was best, ace was second best.
And Brian Rast will win half the pot.
I honestly have no idea why Randy didn't know that. He's probably shell-shocked from the fact that he's a big favorite to be stuck 150 dimes in about a minute.
So we're going to see another flop, turn, and river. Lou hits his queen.
Hey, there's a queen, sorry.
It was a good card, I guess.
I'm in trouble.
You have the ace of hearts.
There's the ace. Oh, I do. That's the way I can win. Is backdoor hearts.
Backdoor straight.
I'm never winning with the ace. I need like the king of hearts right now.
Well, I think they covered all Brian's outs. Randy, a big favorite now to chop this pot.
To the turn. 8 of diamonds.
Well, that closes the door on all the backdoor outs. Randy Lou now has a full house. Brian Rast can only win with a bigger full house, which means he's going to need the last ace in the deck, or this pot will end in a chop.
River number 2. King of diamonds. Randy's going to win half the pot.
Scary, all right. Chop up that big pot.
Chop it up.
Chop up the lines.
Yeah, he deserved to be a little lucky.
Rast. We should have done it one time, my kid.
Yeah, it's easy to say now, right?
No.
You never know.
He's a professional. He doesn't think like that.
Yeah, I know, but I do.
Results.
Results oriented.
I'm a funny pro, I guess, because I can't help but think that stuff.
So look what happens, Manny. You sweated his cards, and he just lost, I don't know, 60,000.
Yeah.
All right, bye, guys.
I just try not to think that way. Thinking that way just tilts you.
Brian Rast does not need to go on tilt because he's up a whopping $900. Bring Kenney also showing a small profit, and amateur Rick Salomon is up 9 dimes.
Daniel Negreanu is up 80 grand, while Laak sits at the top of the leaderboard with over $105,000 in profit.
The only player stuck right now is Randy Lou. He's in for 98 grand, and the loose cannon dropped 100K before she went broke. Rick Salomon is UTG with 9-8. Folds. Brian Rast, 10-5, out. 7-4 for Negreanu. On the button. Raises to 1,600.
You can tell things are winding down for the week. Time for them all to get their last licks.
Everyone knows the feeling and how it feels. It's good.
Laak's made the call. Kenny's out, and it's over to Lou with Jack 3.
Phil's actually talking about his favorite diet soda.
Lou calls.
Oh, 3-way.
Crafty Daniel's priced in Lou with any 2.
Okay, guys.
What would you? Surprised it's 3-way?
No, I guess not.
To the flop. 10-6-9, 2 hearts. Laak flops middle pair. Checks it. Lou checks it.
Daniel is not a guy with a 100% C-bet rate, though he does have a gut shot.
He checks. Turns the 8 of hearts, and Daniel makes a straight.
Randy Lou's picked up a big draw as well, so he can now probably legitimately semi-bluff this board.
Laak's checked. He does, makes it 3,000.
Daniel's made his gut shot, but it's not even remotely to the nuts. We know Randy likes to fire.
And Daniel likes his hand. He calls. And Laak calls.
Laak joins us?
Even Laak's got a clean shot at the pot at this point if a jack hits.
To the river, ace of clubs.
Laak missed.
And checks.
Randy missed.
Checks as well.
Daniel's got the best hand. Should be able to bet this for value, though there are some hands that beat him. It's possible some worse hands would call.
Daniel bets 5,500.
Phil's only got a bluff catcher at this point. Don't do it, Phil. Don't do it.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go like 26,000, but something's saying don't do it, Phil. I'm not gonna do it.
And Phil folds. And lose out.
I was up to 37% on 26 times.
Well, I don't know why you didn't do it.
That's the highest.
I obviously had to come. I had to have it. Well, if I show a 4, I had to have something there, like a 7 or an ace of hearts.
Can I bet 7?
So Daniel Negreanu continues to accumulate lots of cash while giving away only partial information.
And Phil Laak keeps hearing voices in his head.
Welcome back to the big game from Las Vegas, Nevada, where last night our loose cannon was bounced, leaving these 6 high-stakes players who have all agreed to straddle for the rest of the night. The action here will start on Phil Laak. King-queen offsuit. Calls.
Laak's been limping, trying to avoid massive 3-bets from the maniacs to his left.
6-4 of hearts for Kenney. Raises to 3,400. Action on Randy Lou. 4-10, folds. Salomon's out. Over to Brian Rast with 9-8 suited.
Juicy.
Makes the call. Daniel Negreanu, king-7. He's going to lay it down. And Laak calls.
We've got another nice bloated straddle pot, almost 12 grand in there, and no one's got anything better than king high.
3-way action. 7-3-8, 2 clubs. Rast hits top pair. Kenney with a gutter ball.
Rast has the best hand. Looks like he's gearing up for a donk bet.
Donk bet it is, 6,200.
That's one way to protect your hand.
Laak shows Daniel his cards and folds.
Kenny's got a gut shot.
Mucks it. And Brian Rast will win a pot worth 18,000 bucks.
That's the first time you've ever showed me a hand ever. I'm honored. I'm in now.
It was kind of a relatively simple.
Yeah. That's probably why you showed me.
Yeah, it was a starting point, you know. I don't want to start with like some high-tech place.
Show me some big laydown like you folded 9s there.
Right.
Watch this.
No, yeah, it's not.
Brian Rast took the cannon seat at hand 93, and he's been aggressive ever since. He's not playing scared under the TV lights, or he's so tired he doesn't know what planet he's on.
Phil Laak. He was really bad when I first played with him in tournaments. God, he was so awful. It was unreal.
Really?
Yeah, he was so bad.
I had to go make money in the cash games.
In the tournaments, he was a complete cherry bomber. Really? Didn't matter how many chips he had, he could be the next out. Yeah. Just he had no.
I don't know how you guys hold in there for 4 or 5 days. Now I kind of have it in me a little bit.
Yeah.
Ace-6 suited for Rast, raises.
Folding.
Daniel's out. Pocket kings for Phil Laak.
I remember how many times you cherry bombed. Sometimes you got lucky and like won with 14%.
I'm gonna raise. Yeah, I remember some of those. I did in cash games too.
Phil re-raises to 8,900. Kenney and Lou are out, as is Salomon. And it's back on Brian Rast.
Rast out of position with a weak ace against a guy who doesn't cold 3-bet very often.
Big hands.
And Rast folds.
Boys, you want to show them the pot, make the pot bigger, and then make your bet look smaller. You know, when you have big hands like that.
That felt baloney.
Yeah, it felt not so big after the speech.
Yeah, the speech didn't sound legit.
They don't know. I've done the non-weighted game thing.
I think at the core, you usually fall back on good old faithful lie. Like whenever, if it's a quick decision, it's going to be a lie. I don't think you've perfected your lie merge raging.
I do like playing cards. I'll say that. That's the truth. I don't have to lie.
Anyone who played 118 hours straight has to like it.
Oh, he likes it. He likes it like I like stats. It's in my contract. But the move Laak likes to make the least is the 3-bet. He's only done it 6% of the time, which is in line with Negreanu and Kenney's numbers. Our leader in this stat is Randy Lou, who's repopped the razor 17% of the time, but this hasn't been profitable for him. Though he's known for crushing 24 online tables at a time, he hasn't adjusted his game to this one live table, and it has hurt him. Hurt him like Boitano, Kerrigan, Harding, Yamaguchi, Bayul, and Hamilton.
Six-figure skaters?
That's right. Hurt him to the tune of 6 figures.
Ugh, really?
Just call the action.
All right, I will, which starts on Phil Laak.
One of the people, though, who thinks
Folds.
they are top, who isn't, is the one that you said you beat for 17.
Justin
buy-ins.
Bonamo. You don't think Justin's very good,
I think he thinks he's the best,
but you don't agree.
and I think he's
You think
weak.
you'd destroy him? You
He's
think
tried to
weak?
attack me.
But you think you could crush him?
He's tried to attack me.
Attack
I've got
you
him, like in a tournament.
Yeah, and you just own him.
You got
You
try.
show him what's up.
You
You show him
try.
what's up.
You know how I play.
East Coast style? You're
Yeah.
like, what? Yeah, nice try, buddy. So you think you could crush Bonamo?
I think I could crush whoever. So
I hear you, but him, especially him. Like,
We're heads up. King, Jack, King, 2 diamonds. Solomon checks.
maybe Rick right now.
For the record, Justin Bonamo is the biggest winner in the history of the big game.
Kenney bets 4,000 with 6 high, and Solomon calls.
Rick's got a gut shot straight flush draw.
Turn. 5 of diamonds, and Solomon's flush comes in. He checks it.
I wonder if Bryn being all charged up over Bonamo is going to make him fire a complete blank here.
He does. 10,500.
Rick may be contemplating a raise, or he could be Hollywooding a bit. Lols.
And he calls.
Bryn may be realizing, it's game over, man.
To the river. 5 of clubs. Pairs the board twice now. Solomon checks.
A flush on a double paired board kind of makes you want to puke, but if Bryn does bet, I really don't know if Rick could ever lay this down. Let's see if Bryn wants to fire the 3rd barrel.
Nope.
Flush.
All yours.
Solomon's a winner.
Rick's thinking, this one's for you, Bonamo. Yeah.
Probably weren't gonna fold there.
yeah, I don't think so. Oh wait, the board paired.
Yeah, the board pair. Yeah, the king. I was pretty scared there. I was probably gonna make a crying call win.
That's knowing your customer, Bryn knew.
Yeah.
Rick Solomon's a customer that's tough to turn away. He scooped that pot like a regular Bonamo. Lots more action, straddles galore, when we come back on the big game. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the big game. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Scott Huff. There's almost $1 million up for grabs on that table. This time around, action's going to start on Phil Laak.
Unabomber still up over 90 grand for this session.
Ace tray suited. Calls. Ace king of clubs for Bryn Kenney.
I expect to see a raise.
And he does to 4,000. 4 tray of hearts for Randy Lou.
Randy is on the button.
And he'll call. Solomon's out. Rast folds. And Daniel mucks.
Can't assume Laak's going to limp fold this. He's not getting great odds, but better than 3-1.
I call.
And he does call. We'll have 3-way action. 4 deuce 7 3 clubs. Bryn Kenney flops the nuts.
No surprise, Bryn flopped the 3-leaf clovers. They might as well make them green.
Laak's checked.
Or purple. Great spot for Bryn to continue. That's exactly what people will think you're doing.
Looks like he's going to. That's 7,200.
Randy's got no club, but he does have a pair, and if Bryn's cards were unsuited, a pair would be ahead, even though we know Randy needs running cards for a full house or better to win this hand.
And Lou calls. Laak folds.
Poor Randy Lou is losing his shirt this week.
Queen of clubs on the turn.
And that's going to take some of the cheddar off the quesadilla because that queen murdered Bryn's action.
Kenney checks.
Check.
As does Lou. River jack of clubs.
The queen and the jack are in cahoots. This is Bryn's last chance to try to get any value, and if he does bet it, there's a chance Randy may think Bryn's trying to bet him off a chop.
Bryn bets 20,800.
2/3 of the pot.
Fold.
And Lou folds. So Kenney scoops a nice pot, and things continue to go in the wrong direction for Randy Lou.
Hope he didn't chop.
You're a little off.
No.
So that brings a smile to Bryn Kenney's face, and stats make Joe Stapleton smile.
It's in my contract. Bryn's taken the bronze medal approach. He's been the third most likely to play pre-flop, third most aggressive post-flop. He's won the third most total pots, and you guessed it, he's third in profit as well. I will say that when Bryn does play a hand, he tends to commit.
Not quite silver or gold, but still profitable for Kenney this week as the action will start on him here. Phil Laak in the straddle. Pocket aces for Kenney.
Hello, beautiful.
Raises the 3,600.
That right, Phil?
5 tray for Lou.
Okay.
Mucks. Salomon's out. Over to Rast. With Ace-King.
This is a bit of a cold deck, and worse, it's pretty standard to 3-bet Ace-King from the small blind.
He's just going to call. Daniel folds. Phil Laak. 9 tray.
I can't call after I leveled this whole thing off perfect.
Yeah, 9 tray had nothing to do with it.
Heads up to the flop.
Brian Rast drawing super thin.
9, 8, 9, 2 clubs. Rast checks. And Kenney checks.
Playing deceptively.
Queen of hearts on the turn.
Rast still with Ace-King high, and he's drawing dead.
And checks it again.
Looks like Kenney's going to attempt to start getting some value.
And he does, bets 5,500.
Bryn's check on the flop may get him some action here.
You are correct. Rast calls.
Fires 5,500 into the abyss.
To the river. King of diamonds, and Kenney keeps Rast around long enough to get a piece. He's paired as king.
Super dirty card.
Checks it.
Rast is checking, actually hoping that Kenney will bet. And being that Brian's played this hand so passively, I think Kenney's going to oblige him.
Kenney's going to bet 16,500.
Probably no shot Brian folds here, but there is a small chance he could get into real trouble with a raise.
But he just calls.
Aces.
Wow. And just like that, Bryn locks up a win.
Could have lost.
Nice river card.
Could have lost less, and I could have lost more on that pot.
Yeah, exactly.
Could have folded the turn, but could have gotten a lot of trouble.
50K pot wasn't trouble enough. Cool.
Bryn Kenney takes down a nice one there. And as the action winds down, all these guys have one last chance to go for the gold when we come back on the big game. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the big game, where the straddle's been on all night. And moments ago, we saw 24-year-old Bryn Kenney win a big pot from 29-year-old Brian Rast. What were they thinking? Find out as we take you behind the poker face.
At this point in the game, all of us had agreed to straddle. This was Phil Laak's straddle.
I look down and see 2 aces, and I open to pot from under the gun. We have about 3 hands left, so I wanted someone to put some money in, maybe get re-raised there.
It was folded to me in the small blind. I have ace-king offsuit. My standard play is to 3-bet here, but with ace-king offsuit, I kind of wanted to play it deceptively and just call. The flop came 9-9-8 with 2 clubs.
And Brian checks, and normally I would bet here, but you know, I've played with Brian a lot. You have to change your game up sometimes. So when I check back, I'm making my hand look a lot weaker than it really is.
The turn came a queen of hearts. I checked and Bryn bet 5,500. I think you can make a decent argument for folding my hand here. However, against Bryn, who mixes up how he plays, I actually don't think folding is best.
And Brian calls, so I put him on a queen. So I love my hand now, of course.
Now the river came the king of diamonds. So now basically, I want to check to Bryn and hope that he follows through and bluffs.
And I bet 16,500.
Bet a bet I thought he might make with air. I happily called with kings up with an ace kicker, and Bryn showed me 2 aces.
The way I played the hand, I like balancing it. You have to sometimes bet the flop, and you have to sometimes check the flop. I'm trying to disguise my hand as much weaker than it actually is, and it worked out that way.
Could have lost less, and I could have lost more on that pot.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though I ended up losing probably 25,000, the fact that I played this hand differently pre-flop kind of lucked me into saving the rest of my stack, which was very fortunate.
So I guess for Brian, the glass is half full, except it's half full of 25 grand, and it's Bryn's glass.
Last hand, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Amanda got this job because her resume said can count to 150.
And what did yours say, Joe? Great at puns?
Actually, it did.
Actual start on Rick Salomon. 7-6, he lays it down. Brian Rast, King Jack.
Well, this is pretty ob.
Raises to 2,300.
Oh, I just realized something, Phil. I just realized something. I'm up 6,000 more than I thought because I started 194.
Daniel not as good at counting as Amanda is.
So
I lost some too, so I'm at 84 now.
Action folds over to Lou. Ace Queen.
Uh-oh, looks like Randy is considering a 3-bet. It's the last hand of the night. We've got nothing but paint in the hole. This is going to be like the movie cop who gets killed on the day he's supposed to retire.
7.
3-bet to 7,000.
Randy wants to play with the lead if he's out of position. Against an aggressive player like Lou, this wouldn't be a super loose call in position. And as Amanda and I have just said, it is the last hand of the night.
So he'll play. Calls 4,700 more.
Come on, ace, queen, 10 on the flop.
We'll see. Here comes the last flop of the night. Queen 8-7. Randy Lou makes top.
Lou should be able to immediately start betting for value.
Looks like he will.
What happened to the fast Randy Lou?
Makes it 9,500.
Makes sense. He's probably going to win this hand. Brian's only got 1 overcard.
And he folds. So Lou will win a pot here.
Yeah, you win the last one.
Well, at least you won the last pot, right?
I'll take it.
Not sure that'll be much consolation to Randy Lou as the old school live pros had a field day this week. Daniel Negreanu ends up our big winner, and Phil Laak will take home 84,000.
Bryn Kenney walks away up 42,000, and Hollywood home gamer Rick Salomon is up 15 grand.
Brian Rast took a late hit and lost 34K. Randy Lou got punished for 97 grand, and our Cannon left her dreams and 100,000 on the table.
All right, guys, that's the end of another big week here at the big game. Surprisingly, nobody went broke tonight.
Well, that's because they have deep pockets.
You think that's why?
Yeah, they can rebuy. And
Yep.
You guys are the biggest winners this week, did you know?
Bigger than him.
Phil, how's it feel to be a big winner? You're usually a big winner here.
I like playing cards. I'm happy when the cards break my way, and it happened again tonight. It feels great.
Any parting shots for the guys, Daniel?
Come again next week.
All right, guys. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now. And remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the big game. Good night.
For Joe Stapleton, I'm Scott Huff. We'll see you next time on the big game.
Brian, was it worth waiting for in the green room?
Yeah, I got a good like 50 or 60 hands in. I had a lot
You
of
got
fun.
to donate 30,000 to a good cause.
Oh, no.
Very nice, very nice.
Randy, how'd you like your first big game experience? Was it fun?
It was fun, but not in cash-wise.
Right.
I'll take it, though. Any day with these guys.
What advice would you give all the aspiring big game people out there, all the newbies?
Definitely watch all the guys that won at this table, and
Right.
don't watch the ones that lost.
Do what they did, right? That's good advice.
The preceding program was sponsored by PokerStars.com.